Morning, Jennifer B. here. I just had this amazing experience this morning that I wanted to share with you. I was at a networking event and I saw this woman there and I kept thinking, gosh, she looks so familiar. How do I know her? So I went up to her and I'm like, did you by any chance used to shop at this store that I worked at some, 20 years ago? And she's like, yes, I thought you looked familiar too. And then she said, did you know Jim? I'm like, Jim, yes, I love Jim. I was just thinking of him last week. And she said, well, he was a really good friend of mine. And this is the second time I've spoken his name this week. So our conversation got me thinking about Jim. And the last time I saw him, I was driving from Minneapolis back to Eau Claire. And my another former boss, Bill, came to mind. So I called him up and said, hey, when are we going to have coffee? And he said, well, actually, I'm meeting Jim for dinner. Why don't you join us? And so the three of us met at Mona Lisa's and had this amazing meal, appetizers, pasta, wine, and dessert. I had this panna cotta, this Italian dessert with fresh berries that was simply amazing. But the best part about the night is that the three of us sat there and talked for hours, and we laughed so hard we were crying. It was so fun to be together with those two. And that was the last time that I saw Jim. Within probably 10 days, he passed away. His childhood cancer had come back, and he was only 36 years old. I remember his funeral clearly. I was late getting there. That was before GPS. So I got mixed up on the back roads. And the church was packed. There were so many people there that had flown in from all over the U.S. That's how loved and respected he was in this national company. So there was one spot open, very front pew. So that's where I ended up sitting. But I'll never forget the words that his father said. He said, Jim made his mark. Jim had completed his task here on earth that he was sent to do. And he touched so many lives. And he was so well loved and respected at 36 years old. Those words came back to me several years later, probably 10 years later or so, after the devastating loss of my home and losing my husband in a fire. And I thought about my husband and how he had made his mark on my life. Just in the short time that we were together, he taught me to see things differently, to feel things differently. And even in his death, he taught me. Because I learned things about myself that I hadn't even known. I learned that I could rise back up from those ashes and live again. And I learned that I, too, have a mark to make on this world. And so do you. So I'd like to remind you, as you're sitting here watching today, and I thank you for your time, is that we all have a mark to make. We're all born with something deep within our soul that needs to be expressed. And when we find out what that is, our life becomes so much more joyous and passionate. And what if more of us were making a mark on this world, living a life with joy and peace? Perhaps that's the key that we need to change this world. Joy, love, peace. If you need help finding out how to find that, what it is you're here to do, I'm here. I can help you. Just reach out to me, send me a message. I'd like to suggest a couple other things to you. If someone who's passed on comes to mind, perhaps that's their way of saying, hey, I'm thinking of you too. Because we're still connected. That love connects us eternally. Love never, ever dies. And if you see somebody that looks familiar, reach out, say hello. There may be a big blessing there just waiting for you to unwrap. So remember, your loved ones send you love too. There's blessings waiting to be unwrapped. And you, dear friend, have a mark to make on this world. Make it a good one. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Sending you lots of love enjoy because it's finally summer here in the Midwest. Take care. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.